So this is a press release from a group that is from Minnesota, the Honor the Earth folks, Winona LaDuke, etc. If you can put that on the screen, Colin. So Minnesota Indigenous leaders deliver petitions with 1 million signatures to U.S. Army Corps to stop Line 3 tar sands pipeline in D.C. today. So this was yesterday, Tuesday. And we will show you footage and photographs from this, but here's the gist. On Tuesday, October 12th, Indigenous leaders and supporters who have been resisting the construction of the expanded Line 3 tar sands pipeline delivered 1 million petitions, I believe they mean petition signatures, asking the Biden administration to stop the project pending a full environmental review. To give you some background, the Line 3 action has been going on for many months at this point, but it supposedly was turned on and active as of the early part of October, I believe around October 3rd, if not on that day. No one's sure exactly, is my understanding, but there's still hope, according to these protesters, that even though it's turned on, it can still be stopped. Put that back up, please. Okay, so here's kind of a rundown of what happened. Again, this was an action where Indigenous leaders traveled from Minnesota to Washington, D.C. So 2 water protectors climbed the flagpole outside the Army Corps North Atlantic Division office, took the U.S. flag down, and replaced it with a free, informed, and prior consent flag that read, "Consultation is not consent." And we will show you those kind of images too. The group held ceremony with Anishinaabe drummers and spoke outside the headquarters of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, calling on Jamie Pinkham, Acting Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works, to conduct a full federal environmental impact statement to assess the Line 3 pipeline's threats to human rights, water, and climate. With the carbon emissions equivalent of 50 coal-powered plants and crossing more than 227 lakes and rivers, Line 3 threatens the drinking water of 18 million people and the health and wellness of many more. Tribal governments, state legislators, and members of Congress, and hundreds of community environmental and racial justice organizations have all called for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to complete a full environmental impact statement before the pipeline is allowed to operate. About 900 people, yes, 900 people have been arrested in peaceful actions resisting pipeline construction. With the announcement that pipeline construction is substantially complete, the call for a full environmental review has become more urgent because of ongoing damage to waterways along the construction route. Earlier this year, Army Corps Secretary Jamie Pinkham visited Minnesota and saw the impacts of Line 3 firsthand. He met with tribal officials and some of the water protectors who will present the petitions, but has failed to follow up on commitments to address their concerns. The 1 million signatures being delivered are addressed to President Biden, White House Climate Advisor Gina McCarthy, and Army Corps Secretary Jamie Pinkham, and were collected by a wide range of community, environmental, and racial justice groups, including Braided Justice Collective, Daily Cause, Friends of the Earth, Health Professionals for a Healthy Climate, Honor the Earth, Lakota Law Project, Move On, 198 Methods, Rainforest Action Network, Seventh Generation, Sierra Club, Stand Earth, and 350.org. So 900 people arrested resisting this. Now, that's not the number from yesterday by any means, just so people are clear. That's, across time. But this action that they did in traveling to Washington, D.C. to get their petition seen was simply incredible. And so many people are sacrificing so much to make this happen. All of these images come from the protesters. They allowed us to share these images. You can see there they're climbing the flagpole to replace it, as was described in that press release. And again, people from Minnesota aren't coming all the way to DC for their own benefit. They made that journey for the benefit of the earth, for the children, for generations to come, for their neighbors. And it was very well attended. You can see there are the petitions where they had over 1 million signatures, which is incredible, which is stunning, that were delivered. Now, reportedly, Army Corps of Engineers folk did come down to get those petitions. I have not heard anything, whether any statement has been made from the Army Corps of Engineers, nothing like that. So these are the demands that this group has, including these Indigenous folks who joined up and all of the groups that I listed from that press release. So here's what they want. President Biden's executive authority to stop fossil fuels. Demand number 1, President Biden must stop approving fossil fuel projects and speed the end of the fossil fuel era. And he can direct agencies in his administration to use authority under existing laws to reject fossil fuel projects. This includes stopping all fossil fuel infrastructure project approvals. And they're saying, Biden can apply the same logic he used to cancel Keystone XL. Absolutely. Following through on his promise to ban federal fossil fuel leasing and drilling, and stopping fossil fuel exports. And this page has a bunch of links that you can follow and more information through all of these demands. Demand number 2, President Biden must declare a national climate emergency and launch a just renewable energy revolution. And he can do this by signing an executive order declaring a climate emergency under the National Emergencies Act, which unlocks unique statutory powers. So these unlocked authorities will allow him to immediately reinstate the crude oil export ban, direct the Secretary of Defense to redirect a portion of military spending to carry out a rapid construction program of renewable energy projects to meet the nation's power needs, and invoke the Defense Production Act to provide critical loan guarantees and ensure a comprehensive build-out of just renewable energy development that creates millions of good union jobs. So again, you guys can read the rest of that page on your own. I just wanted to give you an idea of exactly what these folks want across the board for this all week long protest. Now, going back to yesterday's protest specifically, here is one of those involved in the Stop Line 3 protest and organization. And again, this is just very inspirational. And this is just a gentleman who is using his power as an individual to try to help, to try to stop Line 3. This is back in August, but again, this is one of the kind of references that folks are making to show how people are being selfless because they want to protect our water and protect each other. So a Navy diver who helped recover victims of the Interstate 35 West bridge collapse in Minneapolis 14 years ago has returned the honors he received in protest of Enbridge's Line 3 pipeline. John Miller, who lived in Minnesota for 29 years and now lives in Maui, Hawaii, returned the medals during an event Monday alongside the Red Lake Treaty Camp representing Red Lake Nation. The event was held near the Stone Arch Bridge in Minneapolis. So Miller, in a news release, said in good conscience he can no longer keep the awards from the state of Minnesota, noting he's doing this in defense of Minnesota's lands, the Mississippi River, and the people of Minnesota to raise critical public awareness about the disastrous effects of the Line 3 pipeline. I must humbly return them to best maintain the spirit, integrity, and character for which they were awarded, as an act of desperation and because I saw no other way to help bring the necessary urgency and attention to this matter. In addition to Miller's action, her name is escaping me right now, but a lovely Indigenous young woman, rejected a 30 under 30 award that was, it seemed like it was kind of seeking to bypass it. So she rejected the award to fight for line 3. So people are being incredibly selfless.